Alrighty, so I'm Mark Sands from Sands Family Circus and also Circus Art Tasmania. I'm here with Moon Art Centre to do some online circus workshops for you. I've got a number of props here we're going to have a look at today. I think we'll start though, as before we do any kind of activities, we are going to start with, you guessed it, washing our hands. So you can pause the video, go and wash your hands and come back. Done, all right, cool. So we're going to start with a bit of a warm-up, a wiggle warm-up. This is my favourite thing in all the world. Start with wiggling your fingers. Just wiggle all your fingers, move that into your wrists. So you're going to wiggle your fingers and your wrists. Then we go elbows, add them in. So we're just going to add body parts as we go, keep everything else going. So we're going to get the shoulders going, shoulders, elbows, wrists and fingers. All right, we're going to move that into the chest and the waist, get that going a bit, random wiggles into your hips, your knees, your ankles. It's a bit hard to isolate all of those individually, so we'll get them all going. Toes, get those toes going. Yeah, stay with me everybody. Okay, we'll get the neck going now, and everything starts going a bit blurry. Get your nostrils, your mouth, your tongue, and your eyeballs, earlobes, eyelashes, all that, and your voice. All right, I think that should do it. Okay, hope you feel good. All right, I think we will start something nice and easy, and we're going to look at balancing things. We're going to look at things that you've got around the house. Though you don't have to go out and buy any fancy equipment for any of this. So a broom is something most people should have something like that. Boom. Here's one. This is a really ideal one because it's extendable. So you can start with something nice and tall. This is going to be the easiest thing to balance. When you're balancing this on your hand, we're going to always, anything you balance, watch the very top. So keep your eyes focused on the top. This is why this is awesome. It's got a beautiful fluffy top thing on it there, so it's very visual. So when you see the top moving in one direction, I've got to follow with my hand underneath it. Being really tall, it moves a lot at the top. Something short down doesn't move as much, so it doesn't give you as much visual information. So tall is much easier. So here we go. Place it on your palm. Look at the nice fluffy bit up the top. I let go when it's upright, and then I'll let it tip a bit so I can follow it. You can see it happening. I go that way. If it tips that way, I go that way. And same with forwards and backwards. And hopefully, with some practice on something nice and tall like this, you can get it pretty still. Once you can do that, you could move to a finger. And the cameras won't get this, but I could go right up the top here. All right, once you've done tall things, we can shrink it down a bit. That's why this is really good. A bit shorter, doesn't move as much at the top, it's faster, and it's a bit harder to balance. So that'll be a little extra work for you. Once you get good at that, you can move on to shorter things. You might find other things at home, such as a spoon. Can't see that against the background, but against my shirt, you'll see this is going to be much faster and much harder. Got to be quick to balance that one. All right, so there's plenty of things around the home you could use. If you live out in the bush, a good old stick is easy to use. If you've got something that's a bit heavier on one end, this stick's a bit thicker there, put the heavy end up the top. Is a lot easier than putting the heavy end down the bottom. Boom. And we make these nice little things at our circus. You can get these big balls from the cheap shops usually. Just punch a hole in one end and screw it on the other end. And little stopper on this end for comfort. Nice piece of dowel. Very visual, easy to look at. Focus your eyes up there and balance. Cool. Once you've mastered on your hand, you can do this same thing on any parts of your body. I like my feet. I like doing it on my toes, so you can put it here. Again, just same thing. Look at the top, follow it, whichever way it goes. You can move around a bit. Woo! Try hopping from one hand to the other. If you get into things like this, I'm always looking at the top until I do a little throw. I make sure it's nice and upright. I do a little throw. I flick to the bottom so I can make sure I catch it. And as soon as it's there, flick back, eyes to the top again. Yeeks. All right, that should keep you busy for quite some time. If you get really good, just go shorter and shorter things. On the face is always a good place. On your nose can be a little bit tricky because if it slides off, it could slide into your eyeballs. Yeah. So on your chin is really good, or on your forehead. I like my chin because I get a better angle looking at the top. If it's on my forehead, I'm kind of looking straight up the stick and it's a bit hard to see. So on the chin, I can watch the top and just got to stay underneath it. All right, that's balancing. Have fun.